Good morning, folks, and welcome to our broadcast. Joining us from today, whichever part of the world you're in, we are happy to have you here with us. Those of you in Guyana, those of you who are in the National Region 11, we are very, very thankful. Good morning to each and every one of you. As we come on the live this morning, we're already seeing those comments coming in. Edward Brooms is here, and Debbie Collins is here, and I see, well, my, we got folks pouring in from all over the place. Folks, we're so privileged. So privileged. Another day, it's Thursday, the 29th day. I was a little awestruck when I was looking at the date early on. 29th day of August already. Where's the time gone? Debbie Collins, Jilly G, and all you beautiful, wonderful souls out there. Where has the time gone? I don't know. I don't know, but there's lots happening. We're going to try to keep our hands on the pulse of most of it. So glad to see all of you on the live this morning. So good to see you folks seeing some updates making their way around at the back end here. Tracy Clark, good to see you there. David Ford and Dolly, Moses Barlow, good to see you there. Diana Primo, Ross Ricardo, Edward Romes. So good to see all of you on the live this morning. I'm thankful for each and every one of you who are here with us. So thankful for you guys who make guys plural, make the morning worthwhile. Looking forward to. Good to see each and every one of you. The night is far spent. How did you guys rest? I always toss and turn. I need a good pillow. And I was a neck problem. But if I don't have a good pillow, then I wake up with neck pain and back pain and all of that. And I've been hunting, hunting. I'll tell you all the story in a second. Hunting a good pillow, folks. Literally hunting a good pillow. I'm open to suggestions at this point. I'm not gonna try to do it on my own any longer. I am open to suggestions. Good to have all of you here with us, folks, on the live this morning. You all know how we do it, how we say it. Good to have each and every one of you on the live. Yep, near and far, 29th day of August, watching the weather. We got some things with the weather coming up too. We got some guidance from the meteorological office where the weather is concerned, and we want to share that with you wonderful folks. Yeah, said we got to be careful of that as we come on to the end of the year. There's a lot of things happening, quite a few things. How are you guys doing? How anybody got neck problems like I have? If I don't have a good pillow, a lot of problems. So y'all help me if y'all can, man. Help me if y'all can. Right, Ross Ricardo. Ross says share the live. Man after my own heart here. A man after my own heart. Debbie and Jamie Gibbs, Pennell, Tracy Clark, Jilly G, Marlon Thomas, Anthony Jarvis, Camille Cox. Yeah, when my little son was born, youngest of the three, when Zayn was born, we got somebody got a feeding. I can't remember what they call it. It looks like a bigger neck pillow. Looks like a bigger version of the neck pillow. You put the baby in it and you feed the baby. A bigger version, you can almost wrap it around you, halfway around you. Bigger. And one day, by sheer accident, I pulled it under my head and fell asleep. And I had the best sleep ever. Best sleep ever. Since that time, it has gotten flatter, of course. Because y'all know I little big. It has gotten a little flatter. I buy over the thing since then. And my neck pains have returned. Yeah. I've gotten 2 or 3 others since then. And yeah, so I'm looking for a good pillow. You know those pillows that has the indent to fit that space in your neck if you turn on the side to fit that thing, that groove right there. Yeah. How many of y'all special like me? you all thought pillow is just pillow. No. Give me a good night rest. I'm good. Like the house, the car, we could work and buy back those things. Work and attain those things again. Good night rest. No substitute. No substitute for that. I believe in that with all my heart. A good bed and a good night rest. Good decent foam. Good night. Good to go, Ross, and all you good folks out there, Tracy, Margaret Nelson, Margaret says Ras having the same neck pain. Yeah, same neck pain. If I don't watch it, sometimes I just roll a towel up, you know, roll it to get that. My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there's none like you. I tell you all, I try on this old age thing. I like it. I don't like it. I won't give it back. Rio. Rio got the same neck problem. You see that? Thanks, Margaret. Rio got the same neck problem. Yep. Right. Tommy Gibbs a firm bed and knit a sponge. I may be a little sailing on the knit a sponge part. Right. Uh, Irwin Don says, if my pillow too high, I get neck pain also. Yep. Too high, too low. You know, after a while, you got to change your pillow because it gets like that, gets too flat. It makes no sense at all. And to me, I don't know, just me. Like, they don't make the pillows now they used to. The old-fashioned pillows used to last a good little time. Loving tutus, these, whatever is that filling they use there. Flat. You know, so much for commercialization. Maybe you should take these things serious. Give you good quality products. Now, not so much. Brian Daniels a change your pillow. Yeah, Brian. I'm looking for that pillow. Right? Willing to change it, but I'm looking for that pillow because I find pillows that coming that either too flat or like Orwin Dunn says, they're too big. So moving on, folks. Moving on to some other issues this morning. You know, there's a lot of problems we got in this place. A lot of problems. But I'm happy to see that some of them are mutually shared. Right? It's not the only different one. David Ford, we see you there. Here what David says. My mom made pillows the best. Right? Right. My mom made the best pillows rather. Right? My mom made pillows the best. Yeah, the homemade. They know what they were doing. Now these mass-produced things, wasting your money. And then you got to flip them over and see, is it made in China? Jean Bond, good to see you there this morning. Good to see each and every one of you joining us today, folks. Let us do a little housekeeping in the back end. Dot I cross the T, folks, and then we right back with you guys. Take a second or two. Help us to get along. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji, but we'd be so grateful. We'd be so grateful for you all to help us like that. Share that live for us, folks. Smash that emoji button for us as we prepare to get on with it. And we're starting this morning with some comments we heard yesterday out of that press conference by the vice president. The vice president, and you can tell me, you can advise me, folks, if I'm wrong. You know how we sit here. You know how we say it in the vernacular. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Right? You can tell me if I'm wrong. You can tell us if we're wrong, folks. So here are these comments that were attributed to the vice president recently. As we started the first 15 things we think you ought to know about it. We started day to day. Pamela Fontenelle, Tommy Gibbs, Elizabeth Kit, or Anne Elizabeth, Ann Kit, good to see you there this morning. Pam Hall, it's good to see you there as well. First contention this morning, first thing I want to draw the attention is this comment, as we said, that the PPP government, they're on the cusp. They're on the verge of realizing, listen to this, realizing the Guyana dream. You know, some of you have gone abroad and left us. You're chasing the American dream. At least you know that is attainable. When you look and see those who have gone before you, those who are following, at least you know the color of your skin and the texture of your hair, the content of your character can't keep you back. If you're willing to work hard, then things could open up for you. So this press conference yesterday, Vice President Bart Jagnew says we're in the cusp of attaining the Guyanese dream. I don't know about that. When I read, for instance, how the cost of living affecting people, That article produced by Sabak News every Monday, and you hear from people across the country. This week here, we talked about what the Tushao said happening in their villages. And everywhere, folks, we hear the one refrain, things are tight. He says we're on the cusp. Is that a Guyanese dream? If it is so like old age, I ain't like it. I don't like it. Could we take it back, folks? We'll have an opportunity next year to give it back to them. When we have that election, general and regional elections, we will have an opportunity to say, we didn't like this. I hope you guys are preparing for it. Every Tuesday, the guys go there and advocate for clean voters lists and a number of things. I hope you're doing your part. Going out there, 1, 2, and making sure you're registered, making sure all the details are correct and in order. Being in the diaspora a couple of weeks ago, folks say, we coming home. It's like a no-brainer. We coming home to vote. We coming home to vote. Right? Why? They must be seeing something that they didn't like about this Guyanese dream we're about to attain. He says, we're at the cusp, on the verge of attaining the Guyanese dream or the Guyana dream through sustained economic growth and inclusive policies. And ain't that something? Ain't that something? This sustained economic growth for lots of us is only on paper. Fastest growing economy, biggest GDP, high income country. It's only on paper, but we don't feel that. In our lived experience in this country, we don't feel it. Inclusive policies. Tell that to the people at 11th Street there. Dazzle housing scheme. Who said every street being done but ours because we got some activists here for the People's National Congress reform. Tell that to them about these inclusive policies economically. Us the Guyanese don't believe that. And we may want to say it's just bluster, opposition propaganda, but you get out there and listen for yourself. I'm sure you guys are hearing that, but you're turning a deaf ear because as long as your constituent is quote unquote satisfied, and we know lots of them aren't, then you're good to go. You got to move beyond that. We got to move past that and do the real thing. It's not informed. I remember early in the days when I taught literature and English language. I was reading this book on deconstructing poetry, and a phrase in it caught my attention. Can't even remember the authors. They said, the picture of the thing is not the thing itself. I thought about that for a little while. The way those words there were strung together. The picture of the thing is not the thing itself. Since they cut a ribbon to launch a project like how they did the Linden Suzdike Highway project launch yesterday, finally, mission accomplished. Promise delivered. They take a box there. The thing not done yet. They got a drawing on a board, a representation of what the new road, the building, the facility may look like. They said, promise delivered. The picture of the thing is not the thing itself. An interesting phraseology. Right there. That's what he said yesterday at his press conference. They're on the cusp. You all agree with that? Gwen Anderson, Marlon Thomas, Elizabeth Narain. You agree with that? You agree with that? Yeah. So their vision is for a united and prosperous nation where citizens can benefit from high quality services and growing opportunities. Why them those lines at the embassy? Tell their own stories. People still shaping up and shipping out. Why is it? If it's nice time through and through, Sheila Boychad, something about that a little strange to us. Something about that a little strange to us. But we continue to monitor it. But as we talk about on the cusp of this Guyanese dream, why does MP Annette Ferguson feel so different? But this whole setting. Crystal Simon, we see you there. Good to have you on the live this morning. Jean Bond, we see you there too. Why does MP Ferguson feel so differently? She pointed out recently that, people fall in hard times. Yes, they welcome a home, a house, in any form, in any format. Prefab even. But she said these blue houses from men on a mission or man on a mission, they convey their own narrative that even the housing policy is not comprehensive, is not coherent. That's what MP Ferguson is saying. When you look at it, even the housing policy leaves much to be desired. Leaves much to be desired. I know they can rather obfuscate from the issue and say, oh, MP Ferguson, shut your time. Never dealing with the real issue, you know. Never dealing with the real issue. And this whole issue about even men on a mission got a lot of question marks because Myrna Stobie, Willella Garnett, Vanilla, for a lot of folks, this is Irfan Ali personal slush fund. For a lot of folks, last year, men on a mission got $500 million budgetary allocation. This year, it got another $500 million. What have they done with that money? Last year, we questioned them on the structure. Gail Teixeira couldn't say too much there. This year is another contention. The leader of the opposition himself rose some concerns. And here MP Ferguson saying the delivery of another blue house is admittance of a failed housing policy. But I thought it just said we're on the cusp. We're on the cusp of the Ghana dream. This is it here. Catching coops, we say, foul pen, a 2x4. This is the Guyanese dream. As far as I could see in this country, there's land. I thought the Guyanese dream might be a 5 acres, your 10 acres, and a mule. Not them. Take a kitchen coop and go down the road. Take a kitchen coop. Men on a mission for you. 500 million. And in February, we heard the leader of the opposition ask, what's the project profile for men on a mission? What is the project profile for men on a mission? And you know what? Them boys couldn't say no. Them boys could not answer. Take a look. Take a listen.
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Honorable Minister, the law provides for each project to have a project profile. I assume you have built these 30, or how many houses it is. Yeah. Could you lay over for us the project profile for 2023? And could you give us the project profile for 2024?
You got it there.
Honorable Minister.
What is the project down there?
Isn't that
Any submission to cabinet, any submission to the Ministry of Finance to do with budget must have a project profile of some kind. And therefore, what is in the volume 3 is very, what you call just one sentence in terms of MUM, but they would have had to provide some documentation, and we'd have to ask the Office of the President and the Ministry of Finance to provide us with that.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Honorable Minister, the law provides for each project to have a project profile. I assume you have built these 30, or how many houses it is. Yeah. Could you lay over for us the project profile for 2023? And could you give us the project profile for 2024?
You got it there.
Honorable Minister.
Yep. Welcome back, folks. As you saw there, the minister, Gail Teixeira, Minister of Governance, had no project profile, but yet they're coming in the House, men on a mission for 500 million. That was just in March. We haven't gotten that information as yet. Folks, I'm privileged to have joining me online this morning, Annette Ferguson, Member of Parliament. Annette, you raised this issue quite recently. Talk to us about some of your concerns with this housing policy and the deficiency thereof with the current government.
Well, thank you very much, Sherrod, for having me on your program this morning, and a pleasant morning to your viewers and listeners. Look, Sherrod, I will always maintain that the People's Progressive Party Civic has no comprehensive policy when it comes to the housing sector. The reason for me saying this, Sherrod, is that when you visit many of the whether the new housing schemes that they have opened up or the existing ones, you won't see what is happening there. There is no proper infrastructure in place. Yes, they boast about giving out house lots. I see Afran now is on the move of handing over blue houses and all manner of thing to vulnerable groups, which I really appreciate. But I believe as a government, you have to have a comprehensive plan how you intend to address the housing situation in this country. We're 83,000 square miles, man, vast lands we have available. Why is it that Guyanese, thousands of Guyanese are still waiting for to get a piece of land? When I went to housing in 2019, I was appalled that people coming before me with 1997 applications in 2019, with 2000 applications in 2019, with 2011 applications in 2019. Something is definitely wrong. And the boasting about issuing some 34,406 from 2020 to now, it's inaccurate because they're guilty. They're known of inflating numbers. I can tell you
Fiddling
that
with the numbers.
because I have records to show that over their first 23 years in government, the PDP only gave out over 100 and something thousand house lots. And you go to many of the housing schemes today, there's no housing scheme with 100% occupancy. We did the study in 2016. I wasn't at the ministry then. In between 2016 2017, the coalition government did a study a comprehensive study on the housing sector in Guyana. I can tell you, the findings are alarming.
Damning.
The findings are alarming and damning to see that over 60,000 people, 60,000 applications were still pending. So don't let it come with this idea and this with this idea or to sell to the people of Guyana that we have been addressing the housing issue. No, Sherrod, I got people who just inbox me literally every other day to say to me, or if to meet me on the road, Miss Ferguson, I still got my 2010 application. I still got my 2000 application. Well, Sherrod, the big unanswered question, if you boasting about giving out 24,406 between 2020 and now, why is it that people who got 2020 or 1 and 20 or 2 coming right down to 2020 still haven't yet received a house lot?
Good question.
So something is definitely wrong. So it seems to me that the friends, families, and favorites of the PPP, they're the ones who are mostly benefiting from this, because remember this whole big thing now about apartments. So their interest right now is to build apartments, not to help them.
Lots of ministers currently got apartment buildings going up. You know, they know they're going to be a one-term government, and so they're trying to make a bread and eat a food.
Everything. I heard it has been reported, and I see I saw the building for myself. Priya got an apartment building in Cummins Lodge. I heard that Nigel Daramlal got apartment buildings, as I'm saying, reported apartment buildings in Cummins Lodge too. I heard Kwame Mackay allegedly, Susan Rodriguez allegedly. So what is really happening? So with the construction of these apartment buildings, you don't want Guyanese to be real homeowners. You want Guyanese to continue being tenants and you being landlords. It is unfair. So, Sherrod, I will continue to say, and I've challenged many times Colin Crowell to prove me wrong. And to date, he cannot, because I have the facts at hand.
Well,
So,
Annette, like you, Guyanese raise these allegations with us all the time about ministers owning apartment buildings, just a short space of time. Not only apartment buildings, big palatial houses, Region
mhm,
3, Region 6,
mhm.
and all of that. So that is a major, major concern. The eyes off of the ball. I know under our tenure, one of the things that we were bogged down by is the couple housing schemes that they did, the substandard work, rectifying it was a big issue. And you had a responsibility as a government that had, because of continuity, because you had given, even though it wasn't your administration, houses were given out by the government, you had to rectify houses that were built, walls falling down, doors not on, a whole host of problems you had to be rectified. The other thing
Well,
people are faced with here, Annette, is having a piece of land, quote unquote, allotted to them. They never see it on a map. And if they do get a chance to see it on a map, they know where it is. It's big high bushes, no roads, no lights, no water, no nothing. It's jungle. But it's only
you
give out
are
land.
you are absolutely correct, Sharon. But let me just, before I answer this last point you've just raised, let me say this. When the coalition government, prior to the coalition government taking office in 2015, you will remember the 1,000 houses project on the A finale in the Perseverance Housing Scheme. And I can tell you, when the government changed, the coalition government could have utilized that $2 billion in other areas to build more houses, to put more housing schemes in place. We had to utilize $2 billion in change to rectify defects, walls falling apart, roof caving. And I can tell you that because I know of persons who are living in those houses who that the coalition government had to do rectification works on them. Let Colin Crowell again or Susan Rodriguez prove Annie Ferguson wrong. With regards to the house lots that they're giving out, as I said, based on the report, it's said 34,406 they've given out from 2020 to now. I can take you to places where perhaps, yes, people got an allocation, but these high bushes, no roads, no lights, no water. I can tell you, Sharon, I was in Cummins Lodge phase, I think 1767. And 1767, that's what the coalition government, before leaving office, we would have paid lands and survey for those lands in phase 1767. And I could say I was there about 2.5 weeks ago. Sharon, not a pipe, not an electrical pole installed, no running water. If you see the lands some people got, I got people right now reporting to me a sheer slush land. Look, somebody sent me something early this week. Leave when reconnaissance or something on the east coast of Demerara. The people said, you know what? They paid for their land since 2020. Knows when they see it, Sherrod? It's the other day, 2 weeks ago or something, they called the people to show the people. If you see heavy vegetation, no water, no infrastructure, no roads, no. So how people really going to construct their houses, man? This is what I cannot understand. Yeah. So therefore, they're actually putting the cart before the horse. And it is wrong.
Correct.
If you're developing a housing scheme, focus. Let me say, all right, you're dealing with a housing scheme in Region 3. Put all your emphasis on that housing scheme in Region 3. Ensure roads are accessible, lights, water, everything, so that the people can start building their houses. But because of a lack of planning, a lack of vision, not having a vision, this is the result you will get.
Correct.
So don't come to tell people that we gave out 34,406 house lots. Go on the ground to see how many of those 34,000 people have commenced construction. You go.
Yeah.
People are finding it hard, Sherrod. Yeah. So
because you have high cost of living, the building materials are sky high. You don't got no particular raise in salaries and wages and salaries. What people building with?
Exactly. And you know, a truckload of sand now is $40,000 to $50,000 with an 80-something thousand salary. Mm-hmm. Many of the house lots that they're giving out, as I said before, they're so low, they're swampy. So it takes a lot truckload of sand to really bring that foundation to the level that you want it to do. So this government, they're not ready yet. Where the housing sector is concerned, they're not ready. There's no planning, no proper planning. But they could boast well about the 34,406 house lots they've given out, and also AFAN running around the place with men on mission, taking taxpayers' money to build houses. Now tell me, that's another thing we really got to zero in on. Who are these houses?
And what
Are
is
they
the process
favorites of the
too?
PPP?
What is
Are
the
they
process
friends
too?
of the PPP? Or are they families of the PPP?
Yeah, you know, it was instructive to hear Gail Teixeira says that the HQ for Men on Mission is going to be located in Camp Aingana. It's doubtful whether that headquarters was built, has been allocated, but you know somebody, for instance, who need a house. Where do you carry an application to Men on a Mission, right? Where's the email address? Where's the office number that you could call? It is so nebulous, so hairy-fairy. This is a finale slush fund. That is the truth of the matter. This is slush fund for the friends, family, and the favorites. $1 billion dollars. They can't say comprehensively what they have done with this money over the last 2 years, not 5, not 4. $1 billion Guyana dollars. Pocket change for them boys. MB Ferguson, thank you so much for coming on such short notice.
You're most welcome.
And offering some clarity here. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Bye-bye.
There you have it, folks. People learn very quickly, because she has an article in Village Voice, I think it is, on this very, very same issue here. This housing policy, where she says these blue houses here is admittance of a failed policy. First Lady building house, Irfan building house, Men on Mission building house, Ministry of Housing, and everybody. The whole thing is so chaotic and so jumbled up. As we say, Valetic line, chaotic and jumbled up. One of the issues we're following this morning. We got quite a way to go. I want to get on. Get on with it. We've told you about this several times. What's happening with industrial accidents? It looks as though they're giving some focus. But again, to refer to something I said earlier, the picture of the thing is not the thing itself. So we're watching it. You know, there was a seminar recently on industrial accidents in the construction sector. And it's very interesting what they're saying, that the construction sector is rivaling the mining sector where industrial accidents are concerned. 20 industrial accidents over the last 4 years. I think the figure is much higher than that. That sounds like the last year to me, based on stuff that we've been covering. That sounds like the last year. Clearly, we don't have a sense of health and safety in the workplace. This is not something that is a front burner issue in the workplace at all, but it needs to be. If what the government, installed as they are, if what they're saying is correct, we have this booming construction that is happening, then we ought to be taking this very, very, very seriously. But they're not. So this seminar they had quite recently, under the theme investing in prevention pays. It saves lives and it saves money. Investing in prevention. They're hoping to bring down those figures. I was listening so much to what Joe Hamilton was saying, Polari Joe, but what this occupational safety and health consultant, Gwen King, says, and she was the one who made the admission of these 20 deaths due to these industrial accidents. Right? She was the one who made the admission that what's happening in construction sector is rivaling that in the mining sector with these industrial accidents. Emphasizing, and this is the important thing here, that most risk can be mitigated through proper safety measures. But as I said, This is not a front burner issue in this country for us. Sandra Ford is not a front burner issue. So during Occupation Health and Safety Week, you can get a lot of movements, but you're not get a lot of progress. You can get a lot of photo ops, and then we go back to the status quo. You hear excavator overturn, killing operator, something on Tupui job site, something at Monijwar job site. A number of these things over time, we got to move beyond paying just lip service to enforcing the rules that are on the books. Whether it's friends, family, or favorites, we got to enforce the law. And that is the trouble that we have. I'm looking for my notation. As I said, these industrial accidents are becoming more and more prolific. And I'm certain that some of the figures that we've been looking at, for instance, this OSH, Occupation Safety and Health Consultant, Gwen King, probably seeing too. And we told you, for instance, of Neptune Hercules. This is all within the last year. This accident that happened at Bosai, pretty pulsing investments, where we saw Ravi Chandra Simalga lose his life. We told you about that. The Freedom Hope Shore Base, where this Venezuelan national, Rosbel Jesus Rengar Azokar, lost his life there. Right? We told you about this Imam Bacchus and Son Complex industrial accident they had, where the Mindra Narayan lost his life. All that is within the last year. Guyana Shields Incorporated, Lennox McPherson lost his life. A gentleman working at the Providence Cricket Stadium, Neil McGarrell, lost his life. Nolan Leong, Timothy Fraser, and the list goes on and on. And that is why I said 20 in the last 4 years seemed a little conservative to me. When we have these figures right here. When we have these figures right here. Mining pit cave in, mining pit cave in, mining pit cave in. We got to do this work without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That's only how we're going to get the results in the sector, whether the construction or the mining sector that we're looking at. Safety is not first and foremost in our minds, and it ought to be. Wasn't it last week, the week before the last? We saw a gentleman offloading something with a canter truck that has a boom arm on it. That arm came in contact with some electrical wires. Now how the fellow met his demise. Safety is not a big concern. And you guys who live in the diaspora, you all know it's different there. And a lot of things different in the diaspora. And Pitt, there's Albert, Gwyneth Anderson, a lot of things different in the diaspora. Look at how this you'll be following this morning. They had a big fanfare months ago signing the contract for this Mackenzie Wismer Bridge. Months ago. But now it's giddy up time because election on the horizon. See, giddy up time. So you can see more photographs shared around and so on. $35 million. $35 million US dollars is the cost attached to this bridge. And it's such a pedestrian attitude. Saw some comments attributed to the Minister of I'm always thinking infrastructure, Minister of Public Works, saying not because you're not seeing anything happening on the ground means no work is taking place. We want to see work happening on the ground. Please and thank you. We would like to see some work happening on the ground. They said the new bridge will be replacing the current structure. It will have a horizontal clearance of 32 meters and a vertical clearance of 11.5 meters. And they can be doing a lot of things to facilitate the bridge and pedestrians and motorists and all that. At the same time, the project is being undertaken by China Railway Construction Corporation. You know, there's an arm of the Chinese government, right? And they said they're already been involved in mobilizing resources to undertake the project. Taking their own sweet time. Don't sweet time with it. And of course, yesterday they had a signing for the contract for the Linden Suicide Highway, which has been on the cards for a long time. But it's the same kind of lethargical, um, lackadaisical attitude, everything. And then when they started late now, you can get some setbacks. 20 years later, like the Cherry Jagan International Airport, we're still building and building and building. We ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. So we can be following this up with the regional chairman and the mayor to hear their thoughts. We like to be on the ground, like we pulled in MP Anna Ferguson there. Her thoughts on this matter. These are the guys on the ground there, following these issues, and they know them. They know them. Look at this. They said safety features will be prominent in the Linden Suicide Highway, but we need them on all our highways. On all of them. Car loss control. Wrapped around a utility pole. The pole fell on the ground, blocked the street. Folks, there's a lot happening. We got to be so careful out there. So careful out there. This is in Region 2. It said a speeding car lost control and struck a utility pole at Perseverance in Region 2, causing the pole to topple, block the roadway. Traffic backed up for miles. That was the contention there. This was around 3 o'clock yesterday, I think it was. And a female driver, again, negotiating a turn there, lost control, and this was the result. The impact caused the pole to fall across the road, and the car spun twice, contrary reports that we've seen, before crashing into a small zinc fence, I think it was, a zinc shed on a construction site. Fortunately, neither a driver nor a passenger in the vehicle were injured. An eyewitness apparently described this as a near miss with a canted truck, and the danger that was posed by the electric wires. I think when the Lord says your time is your time, when the Lord says your time is your time, she said, lives preserved here, never mind the serious nature of this accident. So we're watching that, folks. One of the other issues we watch. Speeding, slow down. Let us arrive alive. Brothers and sisters, slow down. Let's arrive alive. So that's one we're watching at. Government office, we sometimes take what they say with a pinch of salt, because when they say it's going to rain, it's bright sunshine. And then when they say sunshine, oh Lord, rain for so, rain like that. But they're telling us above normal, heat is coming your way. This is between, I think, October and November, between September, between next week and November, above normal heat. Expect that. This is according to the Ministry of Agriculture Hydrometeorological Office. According to their forecast, these above normal temperature will be observed in Guyana between September and November 2024, even though they say the period is usually marked by high temperatures. But note here, the phrasing is above normal. High temperatures is the norm this period. It says it's going to be above that, But it helps me to know Yvette Madu, Gila Leacock, and Lettel, Bantu King. It helps me to know I'm not crazy, because I've been telling you guys the afternoons have been hot. Orwin Don, Michael, the afternoons around these parts have been hot. So we're watching that. They're telling us also to take all precautions necessary, all preventative measures for your safety, like staying hydrated, limiting outdoor activities, ensuring adequate water and shade for livestock. Not only but you got to be concerned with your dog, the cat, the fowl, the cow, the horse. So consider preventative measures Stay hydrated, they say. Limiting outdoor activities. Some of you are like walk. Ensuring adequate water and shade for yourself and livestock as well. So we're going to watch that, folks. We're going to watch that above normal heat, September to November. Watching that. Yeah. We're going to keep watching it. Your boy run out. You say, do sound like say, no. Knock and knock back. Remember Dr. Hines' voice. The people want to be the only one out there. Wrong talking people and so on. And when you talk back now, that's where the problem starts. But knock and knock back. The AG apparently said recently on his program that they're working with US entities to tackle people who post negative things about the government on social media. Because that apparently incites racism and violence. You can't really see this racism. But we ain't seen the violence neither. They're always talking about somebody inciting. Right? Always somebody inciting, but you never see any outcomes from that. This incitement, supposed incitement. They must be the only ones out there name calling people. I heard the vice president saying, leader of the opposition, stupid, yesterday in his press conference. Right? When you say they're stupid, they say you vile. Oh, you're rabid. Not gonna knock back. Not get knocked back. Interestingly, I saw the AG in comments attributed to him at least, quoting parts of the cybercrime legislation. Talking about how comprehensive this education is that was passed in 2019. I thought we didn't do nothing. I thought the coalition didn't do anything. We didn't move a pen. This piece of legislation, the cybercrime legislation, is being misused. The world knows that. It is being misused in the most vulgar way. But not get knocked back. That's all we'll say there. Not get knocked back. No, they can say that's inciting violence. That's how myopic and limited they're thinking. And of course, they would never enforce that we're talking politically. No. They would you can't credit them with that kind of comprehension. We got some ways to cover before we wrap up, folks, in a couple of minutes. So there is the heat we gotta watch, as we were saying. We got the trench crapos to watch as well, right? We got other things to watch too. We got other things to watch as well. Some things that are trending wrong our part. Let's so good to see you on the live. So y'all distracting me here. Tracy Clark and Desiree, Angelique, Karen, Andrew. Good to have all of you on the live this morning. Some of the things we're following here. Remember we told you all about this Fulcrum company formed just within the last year. Big gas to shore project and so on. Big gas to shore project. This Fulcrum is LMP. Fulcrum. Well, in his press conference yesterday, the vice president says he has no relationship with the owner of Fulcrum, who just happens to be former vice president for ExxonMobil Guyana, who just happens to be the former vice president. Why these kinds of relationships always emerge with the PPP? Why is that? These kinds of relationship. Interestingly, in a letter to the editor today, one letter writer, homework for y'all. I'm going to touch it briefly. One letter writer says, Jack your mouth twist. Twist mouth, Jack Dio. That's what the letter writer says. The letter writer says he knew to talk about some conflict of interest between Nigel Hughes and Exxon as a client of Hughes Fields and Stobie. But here's a man who's been working for Exxon for years. I think he said 20 odd years. Started a company 1 year ago and getting big contract. Isn't that conflict of interest? But the people are going to be silent in that. They're going to be silent in that. Because somewhere in that story happening, somewhere in that, we can continue to follow the same from issue. 1 year company there. No experience in the sector, even except the owner worked for Exxon for a long time. But as a company, no experience in the sector. Big contract. There's the hand wash hand government. The hand wash hand government. Another letter to the editor has been a letter to the editor. The letter writer makes a salient point. You see all this farming you got to follow up in customs? Oh, digitize them now. Digitize them now. The doctor who wrote this simple letter to the editor says sometimes the lettering and it's so fine. You know the immigration forms you fill up when you coming into Guyana? The letter's so fine. You know, it's big people dealing with. Digitize the thing. And we could have a larger conversation here, but lots of things lots of processes we could digitize. Right? You talk about being on the cusp of greatness and all that in this country, of the Guyana dream. People out here begging for farm digitized. We still dragging money in suitcase. We give out cash grant to communities, and you talking about we on the cusp. The Guyana dream. I like the dream like old age. I like it. Like these immigration forms. I like having to fill it out and you strain in the eye and so on. Leadership must fix things, man. Digitize the form. Not a letter writer making that intervention there. Thought I had to bring you to that, bring that to your thoughts. So they're building a new Burbis bridge. Jack said, we need no new feasibility study. Says the study for the old bridge. That's adequate. The study for the old bridge, that they would make these admissions, is staggering. I'm telling you what the fellow says. The old bridge study is good enough for the new bridge. That's all we need to know. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. The study for the old bridge should be sufficient. What else you want? You see, when it being so opaque, right, so guarded here, so shrouded, you know thing happening. You just know thing happening. And what you're seeing in broad daylight, oh, don't take candlestick to look for night time. Take the old bridge study, man, for the new bridge. You see how they like cut corners? You see how they like to cut corners? I didn't know. He says it is the admission. It's a no-brainer. If you got to connect 2 points, what you need to study? He said that. The simple case of connecting 2 points. What you got to study? Fascinating. Fascinating for us. And as we wrap up, folks, let's run your show very quickly in short order. Some of the other things we're following. You're connecting 2 points. What you got for study? Oh, you want thing for study, no? Study the old bridge. EIA and environmental impact assessment and the others. It was prepared for the old bridge. We're working with that for the new one. That's what he said. And then he goes off on a tangent, saying that sometime APNU did a study and the study wasn't legitimate because it had cabinet approval, and somebody approached the ministry directly to do this study, and a whole bunch of convoluted nonsense. Trying to again, dilly-dally, shilly-shally, obfuscate. That's what they're good at. Look at some of the other things we're tracking. Very quickly as we wrap up, folks. Quickly, swiftly as we wrap up. Right? Health Ministry stepping up the surveillance for mpox, monkeypox, right, at ports of entry. We're watching that. The police in, I think, regions 2, 3, and 6 had an outreach. I know 4 didn't get their attention because I see a woman on Sheriff Street, living on Sheriff Street for years, complain with noise nuisance and her neighbors. I noted in the write-up, they didn't have Region 4 there. They have warned the entertainment spots across the country about noise and noise pollution. But more than that, they said these businesses have committed, right, to stay on the straight and narrow. But if businesses have been going counter and contrary to regulation, the law got to take its course. Too many times, whether it's industrial accidents or noise pollution or what have you, people turning a blind eye and making a mockery of the law in the books. Too many times. So they found a decomposed body in Tapakuma. It's an indigenous community. We're watching this, folks. What's happening there? Dead bodies turning up all over. Just another day in the wild, wild west that is Ghana. Another day in the wild, wild west. So we're watching that too. And finally, folks, this morning, also that press conference yesterday, I saw Demar Waves did an update to this issue. PNCR owes $6.7 billion to the City Hall for rates and taxes. And yet, City Hall can't produce any documents to that effect. Right? Which property owned by PNCR has attracted this amount of rates and taxes? Couldn't point to that. So Demar Waves asking here, albeit, where Jack we getting here information from? You see, the man is just sit down and lie. Lie rat, is not bad. Lie rat. Lie dio, just lie like that. Unflinching. Just lie like that. Oh, the first 15 or so we think you ought to know about. As we move ahead this morning, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the live today. So many of you, over 1,100 of you on the live this morning. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to spending this time with you folks at a slightly slower pace. And we look forward to seeing you guys later this evening as well. Thanks for joining FYI this morning, and we hope that you guys go ahead and have a fantastic day, whatever you're going after school or work, or you're heading in from any of those 2 assignments. Maxine Monroe and Gail Samuels, Ingrid King, Terrence Dean, Bantu King, Siobhan McDonald, and all you other wonderful folks. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to see you guys right back here at the next one. Have a fantastic rest of the day. If it can cost you nothing, smash that emoji button before you go. Great folks, friends, if it ain't going to cost you nothing, share this live for us so that other folks can come into contact with information. Yeah, and if you can, well, this part can cost you something. Partner with us as well so that we can continue to do more of these programs. Thank you so much. As I said, we're going to see you guys right